I don't know how many of you guys got a chance to watch the O.J.Simpson Made in America special that has been coming on for the last 5 days on ESPN. But it was a very great documentary, and it really went in depth as to the outs and ins and outs of the O.J. Simpson case. And for you guys that been paying attention to just OJ's name being brought up through the media. There was a TV series that came on, I say about a month ago, but this documentary really went into depth of what was really going on around that case. And I was in Los Angeles when the whole O.J. Simpson thing was popped off. I was in L.A. when the Rodney King situation sparked off in the streets, and I can remember as a little kid, seeing the streets all tore up and the National Guard all in the community. And I mean, it was just, chaos. And there was a time when you couldn't even be outside at a certain time because your life was literally in danger, neither from someone tearing up the community or the police department trying to get at somebody. Because at that particular time, if you were black, especially if you were a black male, it didn't matter whether you were a child or you was a teenager or a grown man, you were the enemy to the LAPD. So, it was just a lot going on around that time. And a lot of people look at the O.J. Simpson case, they just look at it from the point of view as if this was a black man, a professional football player that was married to a white woman, and the white woman ended up dead. Okay, and it was a lot deeper than that. And what the documentary really went into, which I'm glad they went into, is that all this sparked off from decades and decades and decades of the police department mistreating black Americans. It stemmed from the Rodney King thing. It stemmed from Emmett Till. It stemmed from a whole bunch of different events that has happened throughout American history where black people did not get justice. So at that particular time, it wasn't really, black folks wasn't really cheering for OJ. And I vaguely remember this because I was young, but I can remember the atmosphere of it. And black people weren't necessarily cheering for OJ. We were cheering at the fact that this was a black man who had a black lawyer, Johnny Cochran, who was a bad man right there. But we were cheering because we wanted him to win and push back on the system that had been pushing down on us for over 500 years. And that's what this case really was about. It wasn't that, black folks really, gave too much damn about O.J. Simpson, because if you guys look at the documentary, O.J. didn't really want to be identified as a black man. Now, when he walked outside, which I've said in previous of my videos, it doesn't matter what type of economic state you at. It doesn't matter your education. It doesn't matter whether, you think you're upper class, middle class, lower class, whatever. At the end of the day, to a lot of people out here, you will forever be a nigga. And I use that term to make an overall point as to you will forever be treated with the racism that comes with being a black American in this country. You will deal with prejudice. You will deal with police brutality and harassment. You will deal with the trials and tribulations that black Americans have to deal with in this country. And OJ, he got away from that. He felt like because he was able to, smile and chuckle with the white folks, and they invited him to the Hollywood Hills and Beverly Hills to party with him, and he was able to get himself a little white woman, and he felt like because he was able to rise from his situation, or rise from living in poverty and being, around predominantly his own people, he felt like he was better than black. He didn't want to identify himself as a black man. He just wanted to be quote unquote O.J. Simpson. And I know we're all individuals. One person doesn't represent us all, but at the same time, at the end of the day, you are black. It doesn't matter where you go in this world, you will forever be black. And he got away from that. And as we all know, or you should know, O.J. Simpson got off. Johnny Cochran worked his magic. A lot of people like to say that Johnny Cochran used the race card, which I don't think he used the race card. I think he used the facts that was going on within the case and the evidence, and he related that to the historical context of this country. And if you look at the documentary, you know, I mean, there was a lot of foul play within the evidence. I mean, there was blood that was showed up later when they went back to investigate. Some officers went inside O.J. Simpson's bedroom and pulled a blanket off of his bed and put it over Nicole's body, which nobody has to, you know, ever took one class within law. We all know, if you have common sense, that you do not take something that's been on someone else's body, that has follicles, that has DNA, that has possible semen or anything like that. You do not put that over a body that you are investigating for a murder scene. You just don't do it. That's common sense. But there was a lot of foul play and a lot of things that were done incorrectly, as far as times being written down, etc., etc. And what Johnny Cochran did is he used that and related to a lot of other things that have been going on throughout American history. So when we talk about him playing the race card, I don't think he played the race card. I think he used common sense and he made everyone look at the past history that this country has created and relate that to the case. But, you know, I just had to come out here and, talk about this because, you know, first of all, I want to give, ESPN their props. I don't always agree with everything they do, but, I mean, this was a great documentary, and it was something that needed to be shown, especially in the times that we're living in right now with, the recent deaths of Trayvon Martin and many other them, with Mike Brown. I can go on and on with the many deaths and foul play by the police department all across this country. So this was something that we need to see, and it's something that, I hope it sparked into everyone's mind, whether you white, black, green, or purple, that, we got a lot of shit we need to fix in this country. We have a lot of things we need to fix, and we have to get out of this mindset that we live in a post-racial society, or because we put on a Chuck E. Cheese smile and smile in front of a whole bunch of white folks, everything is going to be A-okay. Because the minute you get out of line, or they feel like you're not tap dancing to their music, they will quickly remind you that you are a nigga. But, I advise everybody to check the documentary out. It's a great documentary. I don't want to say too much about it, but you guys really go check this out because this is a really good documentary. And like I said, it needs to be shown for the times that we're in right now. And, it makes you wonder why OJ, didn't go sit his ass down. I said this as I got older and I started to look back on the case and everything. And like I said, this O.J.Simpson case and the Rodney King incident is a big part of my life because I was in LA at those times as a child, and I remember seeing what was going on, and it wasn't pretty. There was a lot of things that were going on at that time, not just within LA, but in the country as a whole. And you just ask yourself, why didn't this guy just go sit the hell down? Just go sit down somewhere. Because you would think if you get off for double murder, whether you are guilty or not, you will stay clear. You go sit your ass down. And a lot of us that are black, we wonder why OJ just didn't do that. But, I guess if, the white people are making you feel like they accept you and, you got off for murder, whether he was guilty or not, you start to feel yourself a little bit. You start to think that you can do whatever you want to do and the law won't come down on your ass. And like I said previously, OJ felt like, he wasn't a black man. But like I said, they will quickly remind you when you get out of line. But if you guys checked out the documentary, let me know what you guys thought about it. One thing I wish is that, OJ could have had spoken within, excuse me, I'm trying to stop something here, but I wish OJ had spoken within the documentary. I wish that, they had let him say his side of the story more instead of just, getting the prosecutor and the defense team, etc., let them tell the story. I think it would have been cool if we could have heard his point of view. But this is why, part of the reason why they're doing these documentaries and bringing up this OJ thing, because he is in jail and he can't really profit off of what these people are doing. But, let me know what you guys thought about it. If you haven't checked it out, check the documentary out. It's a great documentary. I'm out, y'all. Peace.